Alright, welcome back to Crypto Harmonics, and in today's video we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm beginning a new series called Under the Radar. I'm finding so many cool crypto projects as I go further and further in this journey, as I'm sure you guys are too. And it's not just coins, but exchanges, decentralized exchanges, crypto hedge funds, just a lot of stuff going on. So I wanted to begin this series and just really bring to light some of the ones that I'm personally excited about. And maybe I can create some kind of launching pad for you guys to do your own due diligence, which I always encourage you to do before investing. That being said, let's start and look at the first one, which is Rialto. Okay, so this is their website here. You can see cryptocurrency arbitrage, market making, and prediction trading. With prediction trading, they are rolling out an AI trading bot at the end of this year, I believe. So that should be interesting. And we'll kind of take a look at their roadmap and see what they're planning on doing. But right now, they're just being a market maker for a very illiquid market, which I think is profitable. We'll look at some of their profits, but if you could look over here, let's go to CoinMarketCap. And you got Rialto sitting at 23 cents right now at a market cap of $20 million. So I definitely think there's a lot of room for this thing to run. I mean, just assets under management, I think, are over 10 million that they have right there. Their ICO was for about 10 million, I believe. They took a portion of that for trading and then a portion of that for legal fees, probably to pay themselves a little bit, you know, all that stuff. So I definitely could see this being a coin that goes up into the $100 million market cap range, which would put about a 5x move on it right now, and possibly even more. If they can really perform consistently, I'll show you why people will probably hodl this coin because of the payouts and dividends that you'd receive from holding it. Okay, so there's a pretty good write-up on Blockonomy, and I'll post a link to that in the description there, talking about Rialto. And you can look at the team and all that stuff. I'm not going to cover that in this video. You can look that up on your own time. But I did want to talk about the tokens because obviously that's what you're buying. What are they? So they're basically just a stake in their digital asset pool that they're using to trade. So in their digital asset pool, I believe they have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Ripple, and maybe a couple other majors. And those are what they're using to arbitrage and create liquidity in the markets. And we'll see. They list, they're pretty transparent. They list their stuff there, how much they have of each. But the tokens provide a stake in that. Now, along with the token value obviously going up, why would people hold this token? Why would this value go up to $1, $2, $3? The reason being right here, Rialto will deliver 100% of net value created. It's distributed semi-annually. I think the first one is in March 15th. We'll look at their timeline there, their kind of roadmap they have. But it's going to be distributed in Ethereum via smart contract. So all token holders will be eligible for the distribution. Now, I'm sure they're going to come up with some kind of thing that says, hey, you can't just buy, if the payout's on March 15th, you can't just buy on the 14th, an obscene amount of XRL tokens and get the rewards. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of, you've had a stake in it for a while. So that's pretty cool. I think that if you think that they can make profit, why wouldn't you hold the coin so that you can get some Ethereum out of what they're making there? But also, then obviously you have the question, well, if people are just holding this token and they're forced really to hold it to get the Ethereum, how many sellers are you going to have relative to buyers? Basic economics there, because the supply is not increasing. They've already distributed all the tokens. So that's a reason I think the price could be driven up that way, especially if they begin to perform really well. And we'll look at their roadmap. In fact, I think if we go down here, let's look at that real quick. They talk a little bit about the AI trade bot, what their, oh, here it is, their long-term goals, right? October 1st, they were going to begin trading, which they did. December 31st, at the end of this year, they're going to have their first audited report by a third party. So that should be interesting to see if everything kind of matches up. I think that'll give people a lot more trust in what they're doing, and that they're not just saying, oh yeah, guys, we're totally killing it over here, you know, and they're just fudging the numbers. And then on March 15th is going to be the first distribution, the first quote unquote airdrop of Ethereum off this token and off the profits that they're making. And then another reason to hold this coin is this is a year off, but they want to become a single access point, a single access platform for users to come on and buy and sell there with probably really good, really tight spreads for cryptocurrencies, because they'll be basically providing liquidity, and hopefully if they're successful, they'll be, you know, one of the top dogs in doing that. So that could be really cool too. I don't know if they're going to make, you know, that token, like you have to have that token to access their platform. I didn't read that, but I'm sure that's somewhere on there. So anyways, I think that's really cool. Let's look at one other thing that I found on Reddit. I like this post from this person. And I have no idea who they are, but they bring up some really good points. So on the downside, in any time you're getting in an investment, I know there's a lot of hype with ICOs and everything like that, and everybody's just throwing money at everything. But you know, the best way to learn is maybe lose some money on some really bad ICOs, some really bad coins, and then you start learning to do a little due diligence. And so you want to be realistic, and you want to look, okay, well, what's the downside? What's the competition here? And obviously, one of the things that I thought of, which I don't believe is on this post here, but you know, what about other people coming in, some high frequency traders from Wall Street, you know, coming in and doing the same thing, trying to do the same thing. But there is a bit of a learning curve with cryptocurrencies. It's not the same animal. So people coming from Forex and futures and stocks and doing high frequency trading on some of this stuff, when they go on to Poloniex or Bittrex or Bitfinex and, you know, understanding wallets and keys and having private keys, you know, there is a bit of a learning curve. So with people that already are very familiar with the way cryptocurrencies work, I think they definitely have a leg up. Will other people come and try it? Absolutely. But maybe Rialto can really get there first. And that's what you're betting on, basically. On the downside, also, you know, this person brings up there are several other techs being developed that may reduce the potential of arbitrage trading between exchanges. So, right, there's some big things coming with decentralized exchanges. That is no doubt the future of cryptocurrency trading. I think the people want it. I think it's there, and it may actually become a necessity if governments, you know, begin to really crack down on some things. So then you also have things like the Lightning Network, atomic swaps, ARC smart bridging. I have no idea what this is. I've seen this crypto, but I've done zero research on that, so I don't know what that is. But I am familiar with ARC. So anyways, I think that brings up some really good points. On the downside, there is a lot of a movement to decentralized exchanges, but we also could be a ways off on that. So are we 2, maybe 3 years away from that? And then you also have the, you know, well, just because there's a decentralized exchange doesn't mean everyone's going to use a decentralized exchange. Your Poloniex and Bittrex and Bitfinex, these will still, GDAX, these will still exist. Especially when you're talking about people coming over, like I did, from trading maybe more traditional markets like Forex, futures, stocks, people that are used to trading on Thinkorswim, NinjaTrader, MetaTrader 4, like all those things that's point and click kind of trading, they're not going to go over and trade on Ether Delta. They're just not going to do it. So they need something pretty and with a really good user interface. And as we're discovering in cryptocurrencies, that takes time. So I definitely think there's years and years of opportunity for Rialto to capture arbitrage between these markets and between these exchanges. Okay, so let's look at the positive here too that they wrote. Oh, one other negative that was on here, and I may have already mentioned this, but it may get flagged as a security, at least in the U.S. I mean, you're basically paying dividends, so I don't know how they would get around that. They said intellectual property. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I'm definitely going to keep that on my radar, though. And if you're in the U.S. or you're in a country where they really crack down on securities like that, you know, you may want to keep an eye on that as well. On the positive here, let's move to the positive. They mention it being an anti-fragile coin. You know, I don't necessarily agree with that completely because as we've seen, if Bitcoin gets slaughtered, a lot of coins go down with it. And when it's red in the altcoins, it's usually red across the board. But I do understand the principle, and I do agree with that, that maybe people, I don't think people would use it like a tether or anything like that, but I don't think people will hop in and out of it, especially if there's a penalty for hopping in and out of it, and you're not going to get as much of a payout in Ethereum. So I do see that aspect of it for sure. So I thought this was cool, though. Basically saying, we're not betting on horse A to win, we're betting on a horse to win, or even just that the race occurs. So we're not trying to figure out which Bitcoin's the real Bitcoin. We're not trying to figure out which, is Litecoin going to be better than Dash, or this going to be better than this, or which privacy coin's going to outdo the other one, or, it's just betting on that the race is going to occur, that there is going to be a market, there's going to be competition in it, and there's going to be trading back and forth. So that's obviously going to happen. And like they said here at the end, Rialto is a bet on the crypto market to grow and be chaotic. This is definitely a bet I am glad to make. Amen to that. So having said that, let's finally flip back over to their dashboard and look at what they're doing. All right, so here's we logged into the trading dashboard here. You can see a few things. It's pretty simply laid out. There's really four main things to look at. How much of the digital asset pool are they currently using in their trading, which is 0 to 25% right now. Which I gotta believe is because they're just playing it light their first few weeks, maybe just, testing the waters. It can be really scary, especially when you're trading other people's money. So they're probably playing it safe there. I'd like to see them use more and more as they get more and more comfortable and familiar with it. You can see on the left here, their beginning balance with October 1st. How much Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Ripple, all that stuff, and the dollar value down here, 8.6 million. The dollar, and then on the right here is the current. So this is delayed by 7 days for proprietary reasons. So the data is a little bit going to always be a week behind. But you can see the crypto that they have hasn't really changed. It's actually gone up a little bit. But they made $21,452 in arbitrage and market making. So that's pretty cool. Don't freak out here. They didn't make, $1.5 million. That's just the appreciation. But they did make this trading a very small percentage of that. So, I don't know if investors will like that or not like it. I like that they're making money. I think that they'll get better and better as they do it and as they use more and more of the digital assets that they have. So that's pretty cool. You can look in the middle here. The only other thing, it shows you volume and how many trades. kind of what their favorite pairs are. So it looks like Ripple Euro is the number one, and then you got Ripple USD, Ripple Bitcoin, Euro Bitcoin, Euro Ethereum, and some of the major ones. So pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, so in conclusion, I think Rialto is a solid buy for me at least. This is not a pump and dump for me. I'm holding this coin for the March payouts at least. So that puts me, about 5 months out, 6 months out. So I think other people may think the same. There's a lot of things that'll come and go. If they can present themselves with transparency and consistent results, arbitrage trading, and at the beginning of the year with their AI trading, to have a stake in this company, listen, there's companies out there that are claiming to do this that haven't shown any proof yet that are worth $1 billion. Why couldn't this one be? And I'm not saying it is worth $1 billion or it will be, but I'm just saying it's something to at least consider with an $18 million market cap. Is a 10x move and this becoming a $2 coin, is that reasonable? And I think it really is. So, all right, guys, that does it for me. Leave a comment if you have other ideas or something maybe I missed, or a question about it. I don't have all the answers, but I definitely will do some research. All right, guys, take care. That does it for me.